Greetings again, friends. Glad to be with you today. Now, today I am going to focus on a particular thing that God pressed out of me when I was going through the severest trial of my life. I'll say more about that in just a minute, but I want to focus on this issue of freedom. Now, freedom is one of those things that is in the minds of all of us now because of what's happening in this country, what's happening with the protests and the organized groups and being funded by great big organizations and ones that are revolutionary and even Marxist and trying to force their way into doing things in cities and tearing down statues. I mean, goodness, do you know what they're doing? They're tearing down statues of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, who was involved in freeing slaves with the Emancipation Proclamation and so many things that people are missing. Tearing down statues of people that were businessmen who supported the freedom of all people and equality of all people. Yet you've got people trying to hijack this terrible thing that happened with George Floyd and then piggybacking on that to be able to do what they're doing now to try to seize this moment, to try to take over and do so in a way that's revolutionary and that doesn't go along with law. And so that's why there's so much lawlessness, or even what you have in Seattle and in Washington State, where you have them trying to do chop and take over a particular Capitol Hill area of the city and claim that they're autonomous away from the United States. So anyway, I don't want to get into all the craziness that takes away in our country, but really this issue of freedom is so important. And friend, that's why it's important for you to be a good citizen. That's why it's important for you to understand that if you don't take a stand, your freedoms will be diminished. You will be enslaved by another philosophy and system that doesn't allow for freedom. So, now, getting back to the reason why I wanted to come today and to share this with you, I have been through a lot of personal trials and things that have taken away my freedom. I mean, forced to be involuntarily committed on 3 separate occasions. Forced to be in jail systems over false allegations 2 different times. It's been something that's taught me. It's been something that's helped me to appreciate freedom more. And in 2008, I was just about to go into the possibility of having to be involuntarily committed again because that's what they were trying to do in court, to try to force me back into a mental health facility thinking something was wrong with me. Well, it wasn't wrong with me. I was free and I understood more freedom and I understood and appreciated it more. Now, friend, in this country, you had better appreciate freedom because you need to understand that if we don't have the freedom to worship God and to assemble and to do the things that we have been accustomed to in this country, if those are taken away from us by governments or people that try to use reasons like safety or whatever to just hinder us and keep us from doing things, you're in trouble. You're gonna miss out on many things that you may have failed to realize how precious they really are and how much of an advantage it is to be in this country. I just wonder, in the background here, I've got a couple of posters. Now, if you don't have this already, you ought to get on your phone and you ought to get a United States Constitution app to have on your phone so that you can read the Constitution. It's not a huge book. It's not a huge document. You can read the Constitution. You can see the Bill of Rights. You can see the amendments that have been given in the Constitution. And I just wonder, have you read the Declaration of Independence? We just had our 244th anniversary, 244 years since 1776, and the Declaration of Independence. Now, Maybe you got involved in going and seeing fireworks. Well, a lot of places canceled those, so maybe you were involved in shooting them off yourselves. And there were a lot more of those this year, and I've seen it in my neighborhood, and we even had some go off in the neighborhood in the last week, really, and last night in particular. And if you stay tuned at the end, I'm going to have some of those that you'll see on this video as well in conclusion. But, you know, the fireworks have been symbolic of the freedom that we've had and in this country and victory that we've had. And have you really taken time to look at this document, the Declaration of Independence? And what kind of tyranny was being done to the people at that time through Great Britain and the king there? Now, I suggest you do that if you haven't, and you might have to brush up on your vocabulary a little bit because we're a lot more simple-minded than they were at that time. But you can look those words up and see what they mean if you don't know them. But look at this Bill of Rights also, and be able to understand the amendments and what they mean and the freedoms that gives you, the rights that it gives you in this country that we live in America. And if you're watching from somewhere outside of America, you can learn and appreciate the freedom that America gives and that it can give to the whole world. But I wanted to share something also with you. There's a series, there's a lot of good material out there, but there's a particular series that I've benefited from. And this is a series that was produced by a man who has the largest private collection of original source documents from our country. David Barton is his name, and he's a historian. And this American Heritage series is a 10-part series that was run on television and has been put on DVD. And you can look this up and watch this and learn a lot about the history of our country and things that you may not even be familiar with or weren't taught in school. But getting to the thing that I wanted to do today, and being able to share this, and I'm just going to get a drink here to help my throat to be what it should be, to give you this poem, because this poem came when I had already been involuntarily committed twice, and I was fighting to be able to see my children, and I was fighting in court, and they were fighting back, and they were wanting to try to say I didn't need to be free, that I needed to be locked up somehow. So thinking about that and the freedom that I know I have in this country, and how it was being eroded and really done wrong in many ways, that happened after that shooting at Virginia Tech, which led to the website, vtlessonstolearn.com, all that I've written, the book that I wrote, and even the poems that came from that. So this poem is one of my favorite that God gave to me, and it is one that talks about freedom. And so the poem is called "To Be Free," and I want to share this with you now and read it as it came to me, and just considered all of life, considered what life is about, what God is doing, what meaning and purpose there is. So think on this with me as I read this, and just see how this could be something to get you to be encouraged to stand and to make sure that you're free. To be free. To be free, the great goal of each heart, of each soul, the aim of each life endeavor for the simple and the clever. Free from pain, free from sorrow, free from suffering, free from loss, free from worry, free from conflict, free from work, free from the boss. We desire to be free to rule and order our life, yet we're bound by life's struggles, oft accompanied with strife. This world was once free, free from sin and at rest. Man enjoyed the creation and was put to the test. In this test, he did fail, so paradise was then lost. From man's freedom to choose came his choice at great cost. The entire creation was then cursed through this man. God was just, yet showed mercy, then announced His great plan. Man would seek to be free, though enslaved by his sin, seeking ways of escape, finding contests to win, when in fact the one free, who is holy and just, knew the only way man could be saved from his lust. This free one, in His mercy, His grace, and His love, came to earth as a man, left his status above. He was bound in His love, gave His life on that cross, so that men could be free and recover from loss. And that man who was God raised Himself from the dead, offering freedom to all who trust Him and are led. They are bound to be free, free to learn, free to live, free to love, free to laugh, free to help, free to give. Give yourself to this one who is free to be free. That is why I have joy despite trials facing me. And this was written for my Lord in honor of July 4th, 2008, and in preparation for the legal trial of my life. So friend, learn with me today. Learn to be free by giving yourself to the one who is free, who gave Himself for you. I hope you enjoyed and were encouraged by this poem, by this video. I hope that you will like it, that you'll share it, that you'll subscribe to the channel. And when you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. I'm trying to post things that are relevant to society, to post things from questions that you may have, and I'll be glad to address those things from my knowledge and understanding of Scripture and life experience. And so let me know that. So subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next time.